Hey everybody, welcome back. Alright, so just a quick recap of where we are in the process, or the tune creation process. So at the moment we are getting the foundation of our track sorted. The most important things in this track are the drums and the bass. So we want to make sure that they are sounding great before we move on and add leads, fills, breakdowns, vocals, and all of that stuff. So in this lesson, we'll layer the existing bass line with a separate sub bass. Now the current bass line does have some sub bass in there. So why not just continue with that? Well, the benefit to layering a sub with our existing bass is that we can treat it with different effects and make the texture of it different from what we have in this particular bass line. If we continue with the same sound and we want to tweak the sound of the sub bass, then we'll have to add effects to the whole of the bass line. So it makes things a lot easier and more controllable, and ultimately we'll end up with a better overall bass line when we use a separate dedicated sub bass. You don't always have to at all, but in this track it's definitely going to help. So let's duplicate this existing Vital track, and in fact let's just quickly name the first one Vital Bass Top Line, and then we're going to rename this one Vital Sub Bass. Let's go into the sub bass layer. And again, we're just going to load up a preset, but if you want to see how this is made, just go to the work files under the sound design videos. But for now, let's just open up the external preset. So in the vital patches of the work files, we want sub beast. Okay, so just a nice sub bass. Turn that up a bit. Okay, and let's mute the top line for now. So it's a little bit low, so we're going to go into the MIDI. I'm going to select all by hitting Ctrl+A, and then I'm going to raise this up an octave to B2. So that's fine. Now we should be able to hear it a bit better. Now, the bass is already routed through to the sidechain because we just duplicated the top line track, so it copies all of the routing. If you need to in your DAW, just route it through, or make sure it's routed through to the sidechain group. That's one of the most important things that you can do. Now, we can add in our Vital top line, but what we need to do to it is remove the sub bass from it. If we don't remove the sub bass from this one, then it's going to conflict with the sub bass in that one, which is completely opposite of the point. So let's go into the channel settings for our top line, and I'm just going to use a low cut filter, 48 dB, and we're just going to take out anything below about 100 Hertz, roughly, something like that. Now let's just play the whole thing. The sub bass is a little bit too loud, so let's just turn it down. So we've got a nice dense sounding sub bass here. And of course, the best thing about it is that we can just change the level of it easily. If we just remained with the sub from the first one, which I'll just add back in so you can listen to what it was like. But we would have difficulty changing the volume of just the bass. Of course, you can do it with EQ, but it's not ideal. Okay, so you can hear it's not as sort of dense sounding as the dedicated sub bass when I put that back in. Okay, so there we go. We've layered up the bass sound, sounding better already. Okay, that's it for the free lessons of the tutorial. If you want to carry on making this track, follow the link below and get the course. It is the only way we can keep making these in-depth genre-specific tutorials, so your support really is greatly appreciated. Coming up, we have more bass sounds, leads, fills, learning arranging skills. We'll add vocals and you'll learn how to mix your track so it's super tight and has that super clear sound that we all want in our drum and bass tracks. Plus much, much more. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the course.